so corrupt is this process that they even have the audacity to charge interest on these fictitious loans. With massive amounts of riches being accrued, banks can indirectly fund anyone they want. Armies and countries are at their mercy, all funded by money which is created out of nothing. And we can continue on. The fact is, this article is incredible. You guys don't share with everybody. I will share it with you guys though, but let's keep it kind of, you can go find the stuff yourself, right? But I can give it to you guys. Just, I mean, you can find it if you do your own research. I've done a lot of research if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
My question would be, so the entrepreneurs come in, and we do see this. We see that there's some things amiss in the world. Mm-hmm. Really, the big thing for me, and I was even watching today when a friend of mine, Roger Ver, shared something that said Bitcoin would go up, or in cryptocurrencies, just try and get into them, try writing articles, try to do anything, because it would start to go up to hundreds of thousands, if not million, in a few years. And I said, well, that's interesting. Why would that happen? Because a lot of countries like India, they had the cash problem where their notes became worthless. And some other countries are, the fiat currency is not working anymore. So I would say it's our job to start looking into stuff like Horizon, stuff like blockchain, stuff like OK Cash, and seeing where we can apply this not only to entrepreneurs but to the rest of the world, and maybe help the third world. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I see exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, definitely. And that's really where we're starting with a cooperative economic system, guys. What you do is you start from the bottom up, okay? And you harness the experiences of the indigenous people, okay, that are getting bent, more or less just getting screwed over by their governments and by other people in the world and things like that. Okay, big expensive corporations, Microsoft, IBM. I mean, they actually pay their guys $4 an hour to talk on the phone. It's ridiculous, right? To do their customer service and things like that. Not for the tech support. The tech support guys get paid a lot more. Okay, but I'm talking about the customer service reps. Those guys just, I mean, you can't even understand what they're saying. It's like, how can I help you? You know, it's like, all right. Anyway, they're getting paid nothing. That's why they don't really care about how they talk to you.
So I'm an entrepreneur in India, right? And I wake up and they say, or it could even be in America, simulate the same thing. So they get on, Barack Obama or Trump or whoever gets on and says, the $20 bill has no value, the 100 doesn't have value, the 10 doesn't have value, and the 5 doesn't have value. Here's the interesting thing, because that's what I really wanted to bring up. And it could happen, because it happened in India, that someone says, hey, your paper money's up, and you can exchange it, but then there was a bunch of problems with the exchange, like it wouldn't fit in the ATM, and they didn't have enough new notes to cover the old notes. So what do I do then? Do I create my own economy? What happens when...
Yeah, you would eventually, what you're going to have to do, and what we did back in, do you guys know what happened during the Great Depression? You know what happened? Banks did not bring us out of that Great Depression. They put us in it, okay? And they were not planning on taking us out of it anytime soon, okay? It was farmers, it was cooperatives, it was people coming together and cooperating and sharing and creating their own forms of paper, their own forms of currencies, their own forms of value, if that makes sense, okay? Where they could trade between each other. Literally hundreds of these currencies popped up all over the world, okay, when this Great Depression happened, because it affected all around the world. Keep in mind, America's like the powerhouse, right? So when America goes down, everybody else suffers, okay? And that's not really the way it should be, but that's the way it is. That's a fact, okay? Because 99% of the debt that is created, all the money that is created in the world, 99% of it is debt. 99%. That means if you were to erase all the debt, there'd be no money left. You'd have to create new forms of money. You'd have to create new whatever. Obviously, you could still trade gold and silver and stuff like that, but you'd have to set your own value for it, if that makes sense.
It's just like, hey, I have a credit card. Oh, how do I pay it off? Get another credit card. Well, that credit card's maxed out. What do I do? Well,
get another credit card.
Credit card doesn't work. And here's the funny thing. The average person might go, okay, it's hard, because if I'm working, my 9 to 5 and I'm not really trying to pay attention, it might get hard to understand how this all works. And then one day they get hit with it, and then they're freaking out. And what I kind of wanted to base this whole discussion, this whole thing on was, okay, I lost, you know, the Great Depression, or I lost some of the potential earnings I had.
Yep.
What now? Can I go now? I'd go to okcash.co. I'd go to Horizon. I'd find little economies like you guys have, because they wouldn't go out of existence anytime soon. Is that what entrepreneurs you think will be doing in the future? Is starting up these little sites where they have their own coins and their own economies and stuff like that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yep.
I think we'll almost have to, because of the fact that, look at like who is it, France, Italy, whoever just had you know, another major crisis, you know, in their financial stuff and everything like that, where, you know, banks were, you know, basically not giving them money or, you know, stuff. So, you know, in order to kind of rebuild up and build up what people need, because you need to have commerce in order to survive, pretty much. You know, even way back, you know, in the past, somehow there was some form of bartering exchange that happened, because even then people realized that somebody was good at this, somebody else was good at that. Yep. And they learned how to barter and do to get what they needed.
Yep.
You know? And yep. So it's going to bring about that type of idea or shift, because in order to survive, you're going to have to be able to adapt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to close it off here, guys, because I do have to go, and you guys can keep talking. I think I've got a good conversation started, so I think you guys can keep talking about it. But I want to say one last thing, actually two last things here. I just learned, I knew this before, but it's good to refresh again. So did you know bankrupt? Do you know what bankrupt means, guys? You know what the word actually literally means? It means broken bench. Broken bench, okay? And the reason why this was, the word bench actually is in Italian is the word for bank, okay? And so it's banca, B-A-N-K-A, meaning bench, and became the origin of today's word bank. In fact, the word bankrupt literally means broken bench, because if the goldsmith banker was caught cheating, their bench would be physically smashed in the public square. Today's banking system originated from those goldsmiths who become exorbitantly rich thanks to a monumental scam. So I think we gotta go smash some benches.
Well, the interesting thing is, they look at bankrupt as a monetary, when you don't have enough currency to fund whatever your business is. But in today's society, if certain businesses start to go broke, like we've seen with the housing collapse, some banks will say, oh, we made bad investments. They don't declare bankruptcy, they print more. But your average person can't do that. And it's interesting to see bankruptcy can be manipulated depending on where you are financially, how close are you to the Federal Reserve. But if you run out of Bitcoin, if I run out of Bitcoin because I'm doing something shady, there's no real way to bail that out. I can't go on a blockchain.
There's no bailout, guys, coming. If you think there's a bailout coming, you guys are misunderstanding what is about to happen. And it's called a reset. It's going to be a global reset. It's going to wipe it all out. And your cryptocurrencies will still be there. Your gold, your silver, obviously, you can't wipe that out. But we're talking all the digital stuff, okay, that you have not secured on your own. So if it's secured on an exchange, Coinbase, if it's anywhere, like even if you got your Bitcoins stored on a centralized server,